Dengue cases are on the rise in Singapore, and I was one of them. So the NEA is warning that Singapore is at risk of a dengue surge, and this is down to 3 main reasons. A new dengue serotype, DENV1, gaining dominance. Number 2, several large and persistent dengue clusters. And number 3, a high Aedes mosquito population. And all of these contribute to a potential surge, which means that more people could be getting dengue. Here's why you should take dengue fever seriously, and take it from someone who caught dengue recently, me. So it started with a feeling of being slightly off, the kind of feeling you get when you know you are sick. So I started to have a fever and I tested for COVID-19. Well, I was negative and I figured, well, the fever's probably going to go away. But it didn't. So throughout the course of my fever, I just didn't have any appetite and I couldn't keep any food down. So I decided, you know what, let's go and see a doctor. So when I went to a doctor, even though I didn't have the traditional symptoms such as a headache or a rash, my GP advised me to take a blood test. I did, and it came back positive. So my GP told me, rest at home, and we would do repeated blood tests just to keep an eye on my platelet levels. Well, during my second blood test, my platelet levels dropped to critically low, and I had to be warded in the hospital. My extremely low platelet levels meant that I had a risk of excessive and internal bleeding. So it was a pretty worrying few days in the hospital, but after 5 days, I was eventually discharged. So I eventually fully recovered, but as those who have got dengue before would attest, dengue fever takes its toll. So I lost a couple of kilograms of weight, mostly because of dehydration, and I was heavily fatigued for about a week. So dengue fever is an experience which I would not wish on anybody. And I didn't even have dengue fever as bad as some other people have. So the question remains, how do we protect ourselves from dengue fever? The guidelines from the NEA are familiar but worth repeating once again. SAW. S, which stands for spray insecticide in dark corners of the house. A, apply insect repellent regularly. And W, wear long pants and long sleeve tops. To stop mosquito breeding, remember BLOCK, block. B, which stands for break up hardened soil. L, lift and empty flower pot plates. O, overturn pails and wipe their rims dry. C, change water in vases. And K, keep roof gutters dry and place BTI insecticide to kill mosquito larvae. Till today, I have no idea where I was bitten, but I've learned to be more careful. And what this means is to apply mosquito repellent on a more regular basis. After all, I could still get dengue for a second time if bitten by a mosquito of a different serotype. And hopefully, for the rest of my life, it will be a case of once bitten, twice shy.